Good evening, everyone. This is one more session with respect to C programming language. In this session, with respect to Linux system programming, in this session, also we need to discuss about the concept called libraries. So before starting with the today's session, if my voice is clear and able to see the screen properly, please type 1 in the chat box. If my voice is clear, able to see the screen properly, please type 1 in the chat box. Okay, thank you very much. If able to recollect, what is the discussion happened in the last lecture? Will you agree? In the last lecture, we started working on the concept called library. We are trying to understand what is a library. Will you agree? Library is nothing but a place where the predefined function definitions are there. Library is a collection of object files. Library is a pre-compiled code. Again, what is a library means? Library is a collection of predefined functions. Library is a collection of object files. Library is a pre-compiled code. So, how many types of libraries will be there? How many types of libraries will be there? Will you agree? There are two types of libraries. One is a static library and another one is a dynamic library. Who is responsible for linking with the libraries? Who is responsible for linking with the libraries? Can I say linker is responsible for linking with the library? Now, can you tell me in which case linker will copy the necessary function definitions into this executable file? In which case the linker will copy the necessary function definitions into that executable file? Can I say in a static library case? In which case, when your program is loaded into the RAM, apart from your program, the dependencies should be loaded. In which case, when your program is loaded into the RAM, apart from your executable file, the dependency libraries also should be loaded. Can I say in the dynamic library case? Can you tell me, till now, whatever the C programs we compiled it like this, will the linker links with a static or a dynamic C library? Till now, whatever the programs we written, whatever the programs we compiled it, so when you use ccp1.c, will the linker links with static or dynamic library? Answer is dynamic library. Can you tell me, if you want to inform to the linker, link with static library, how to compile the code? Can I say cc-static option? Can you tell me, when you use the size command, so what it will give? It will give the size of executable file. What is that size displays? The size will display text section size, initialized data section size, BSS, and its total in hexadecimal and decimal. Now, can you tell me, in which case the size of an executable file is larger, in a static library case or dynamic library case? Can I say in a static library case, the size of an executable file is larger compared to the dynamic library case? Can you tell me which command we need to use to check my executable file need how many dependency libraries? Which command we need to use to check my executable file required how many dependency libraries? Can I say LDD command? Can you tell me how many types of executable files will be there? Can you tell me how many types of executable files will be there? Two. One is a statically linked executable file and another one is a dynamically linked executable file. Again, there are two types of executable files. One is a statically linked executable file. One is a dynamically linked executable file. Can you tell me, in my executable file, the function definition is present or not present? How to check? The function definition is present or not? How to check? Can I say using the nm command? I hope that's what the discussion happened. At the end of the discussion, I told you what is the importance of a library. Suppose you are working on one hardware. Suppose you are working on one hardware. So you need to design interface functions to that hardware. This hardware is going to use in a multiple projects in your company. So what you need to do is you need to design the functions and you need to create a library so that all the team members, all the project members can call your functions, they can interface your hardware, and they can fulfill their requirement. Can they see your code? When I give you one library, can they see your code? Can they see your code? Answer is no, because library is a already compiled code. I hope that's what the discussion happened yesterday's session. If yes, type 2 in the chat box. I hope that's what the discussion happened in the yesterday's session. If yes, type 2 in the chat box. Okay. Today we are going to discuss how to create a static library, how to create our own dynamic library, how to compile and link with our own created libraries. Again, today's our discussion is how to create a static library, how to create a dynamic library, how to compile and link with our own created libraries. Apart from that, if the time permits, we need to talk about linking concept also, static linking, dynamic load time linking, and dynamic runtime linking. All these issues in a today's session, if possible, we need to discuss it. If this is clear, type 3 in the chat box what we are going to discuss in a today's session. Type 3 in the chat box. Okay, try to observe. Try to observe here. In this folder, I created one folder called library. Okay, now tell me how many files are there in this? How many files are there in this? Can I say no files? 0 files are there. Okay, so now observe, I'm going to write one source code p1.c. Okay, hash include stdio.h void main display function or go for print function. Is it a printf or print? Can you tell me? In line number 5, am I calling the printf or print function? Can I say print function I am calling it? Observe, int I is equals to 10, j is equals to 20, comma k is equals to sum, k is equals to sum I comma j, printf k is equals to %ld /n comma k. Apart from that, k is equals to mul I comma j, printf k is equals to %ld /n comma k. Observe here, how many functions main is calling? Can I say main is calling the print function, main is calling the sum function, main is calling the printf function, main is calling the mul function. Will you agree? Main is calling the printf function 2 times. Will you agree? Main is calling the printf function 2 times. Now, one small question I need to ask you, how many times if you want can we call the function in the main? Is there any restriction? Only 1 time, 2 times, 3 times? How many times you want you can call it, right? How many times you want, you can call it. Now, will you agree? This print is not a predefined function. Print is not a predefined function. Print is not a library function. Sum is also not a library function. Will you agree? Sum is also not a library function. Printf is a, will you agree? Printf is a library function. Mul is not a library function. Again, if I write it here, print is not a library function. Sum is not a library function. Mul is not a library function. Can I say printf is a library function? Okay, predefined function. Now tell me, if I compile this code, what happens to this code? As it is, if I compile this code, who will generate an error? Yes, I got that error. Who will generate an error? Obviously, linker will generate an error. At this stage, you should not say compiler, you need to say linker. Can I say undefined reference to? Will you agree? Undefined reference to print, undefined reference to sum, undefined reference to mul. But can you tell me why linker is not generating undefined reference to printf? Can you tell me why linker is not generating undefined reference to printf? Why? Because linker got the printf function definition in a library. Now, can you tell me, when you compile the program like this, default linker links with how many libraries? If you compile the program like this, default linker links with how many libraries? Can I say 3 libraries? First one and third one is the OS related. Second one is the libc.so. Again, when you link with cc, when you compile with ccp1.c, default linker try to link with 3 libraries. In that first one and third one is the OS related library, and the second one is the libc.so. If this point is clear, type C in the chat box. Default linker try to links with the 3 libraries. First one and third one is a OS related library, and the second one is the libc.so C library. Now observe this program. In this program, when I compile this program like this, cc p1.c, can I say from the .c dot I is created, from the .i .s is created, from the .s .o is created. This .o file will go to the linker. This .o file will go to the linker. Now can I say in p1.c main function is there? Will you agree? In p1.o also main function should be there. In p1.c main function is there. Will you agree? p1.o also main function will be there. Now can I say main is calling these many functions here? Will you agree? Main is calling these many functions here. Now the linker is responsible for searching. Linker is responsible for searching. Where it will search? Can I say it will search in the same source code as well as it will search in these 3 libraries. It will search in the same source code as well as it will search in those 3 libraries. Getting the point? Now tell me, main is calling the print function. Will you agree? Print function definition is not in this source code. And also print function definition is not found in these 3 libraries. That is the reason undefined reference to generated. Main is calling the sum function. Sum function is not designed here, and sum function is not present in these three. Undefined reference to. Main is calling the printf function. Now tell me, linker got the definition of printf in this library. Now will you agree? Linker got the definition of printf in that library. So is the linker generated undefined reference to printf? Is the linker is generated any undefined reference to printf? Answer is no. Now tell me, next function I am calling in the main is a mul. Is the mul function definition is there in this source code? No. Mul function definition is there in these three libraries. Mul function definition is there in those three libraries. No. Can I say linker is generated undefined reference to? So linker is generating undefined reference to this. Linker is generating undefined reference to this. Linker is generating undefined reference to this. But the linker is not generating undefined reference to printf because linker got the printf function definition in a libc.so. Linker got the printf function definition in a libc.so. First one and third one is related to OS and second one is related to libc.so. Yesterday, when we type LDD command, you might have observed it. BE9C3. Yesterday, when we type LDD command, you might have observed the three libraries, dependency libraries will be linked default. So first one and third one is a OS related library. Second one is C library. So by default, linker links with these three libraries. By default, the linker links with those three libraries. Now, why error came? All of you clear with that? Why error came? All of you are clear with that? Now, what we are going to do is, I'm going to create one static library and I'm going to create one dynamic library. Library is a collection of object files. So here, I'm going to put some object files in this. Here also I'm going to put some object files into this. Getting the point? I'm going to create one static library. I'm going to create one dynamic library. Try to observe this. No need to copy this, just observe it. Vi print.c. What is the source code name? What is the source code name I'm writing? What is the name of the source code? Print. Okay. So in this, stdio.h void print character star p printf %s p. So in a print.c, which function definition I am writing? In a print.c, which function definition I am writing? Can I say print function definition? Vi sum.c. Vi sum.c. Int sum. Int I comma int j. Int I comma int j. Return I plus j. In the sum.c, I am writing the sum function definition. Just for example purpose, only one function I am writing in one source code. In a mul.c, I'm going to write int mul, int I, int j, return I into j. Now can you tell me, in this present working directory, how many files are there? In this present working directory, how many files are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you tell me in a sum.c which function definition is there? Sum function definition. In a print.c, can I say print function definition? In a p1.c, main is there. In mul.c, Mul function definition. One very basic, very silly question I need to ask you, all of you know that. Is there any rule that in one source code, only one function we need to design? Is there any restriction? Again, very silly question. Is there any restriction or is there any rule? Is there any compulsion that in one source code, only one function? No. How many functions you want, you can. Will you agree? If I want, in this source code, I can write 100 functions. In this source code, I can write 100 functions. In this source code, also I can write 100 functions. Here also I can write 100 functions. For just example purpose, will you agree? Here one function. BE9T1 is asking, sir, not understood what you are doing. Just I am creating a separate files. BE9T1. Just I created one file sum.c. In the sum function definition I kept in the print.c. Print function definition I placed into the, I written in the mul.c. Mul function definition I kept into that. Okay. Now, with these files, we are going to create a library. One thing I need to tell you, when you are creating the library, you need to make sure that in that library, main function should not be there. Sum.o, mul.o, print.o. Sum.o, mul.o, print.o. This is a lib abc.a. This is the lib mno.so. BE9S7 is asking one question. Means, sir, here we are creating a simple functions of specific task and we are executing together in all the files. See, S7, we are going to create a library. In that library, these are the .o files I am going to put. In this .o file, some function definition is there. In this .o file, mul function definition is there. In this .o file, print function definition is there. We are going to create a library. In that library, we are going to put these functions. S7, got the point? We are going to create one static library. We are going to create one dynamic library. In those libraries, we are going to put sum function, mul function, and print function definitions. BE9S7, got the point? BE9S7, got the point? From .c file, we need to create a .o file. Discussion is not yet completed. BE9S7, you should have little bit patience. The steps I will tell you. Just we created a .c. From the .c, I need to create a .o. From the .o, I need to create a library. Is it clear? The discussion is started. So be little bit. So I'll tell you. If any doubt after the discussion, you can ask. After my discussion, if any doubt is there, please. Okay. Now tell me, when you are designing the library, one thing you need to take care, in that library, main function should not be there. Suppose in our libc.so main function is there, so then how can we write our own main function? Will you agree? Logically think, in the libc.so main function is there, how can we write our own main function? Yes or no? So one important point you should be take care, whenever you are designing the libraries, in that library, whenever you are putting the .o files, you need to make sure that in that .o files, main function definition should not be there. If this point is clear, type C in the chat box. Main is separate, library is separate. Yesterday I told you, you are implementing some interface functions, driver functions for one module. So project 1 person write the main, they will call your functions. Project 2 person write the main, they will call your functions. So you should make sure that whenever you are creating the library, in that library you should not put main function definition. Is that is clear? Now tell me, with my in my hand, .c files are there or .o files are there? In my hand, .c files are there or .o files are there? .c files are there. So to create a library, will you agree? We need to create a library, we need to create .o files. We need to create a .o files. All of you are observing this. GCC cc hyphen small c sum.c hyphen o sum.o. I don't know you able to recollect the compilation stages or not. Hyphen small c means you are informing to the compiler stop compilation after assembler. Whatever I am showing here, everything is there in this material. I hope this material drive link is kept in the LMS. Is it? Linux. In a Linux, library will be there. PDF, yesterday what I shown, that I uploaded in the LMS separately. This PDF, whatever I shown you yesterday, this PDF is uploaded separately. Are you talking about this? Are you talking about this BE in just a minute, BEI test 10? So this is there in the, after the class I will show you. I informed to Manu sir to upload it. I didn't check it. I'll check it out after the class. We'll see. So what is the step 1? Before creating the library, before creating the libraries, what is the step 1? Can I say step 1 is from .c file, we need to create an object files, because the library is a collection of object files. P2, we are creating a library. Library means a collection of object files. So in this object file, one function definition will be there. In this object file, mul function definition will be there. In this object file, print function definition will be there. BE9 P2, getting the point? Okay. Now, I hope all of you got an idea how to create a .o files. cc hyphen small c print.c cc hyphen small c, just a minute, get a little bit stuck. cc hyphen small c, just give me 1 minute, print.c hyphen o, that is your option. If you don't use also, cc hyphen small c sum.c cc hyphen small c cc hyphen small c mul.c. Will you agree? .o files we got now. Will you agree? From the .c files, .o files, we got it. Now can you tell me here where the main function is there? In this .c files, in which file the main function is there? In this .c files, in which file the main function is there? Can I say in a p1.c? In a p1.c main function is there. Will you agree? We are not going to put p1.c, p1.o. Will you agree? We are going to put will you agree? We are going to put, we are not going to put p1.o in that library. We are not going to put p1.o in that library because their main is there. So from .c files, all of you see here in this material also, as it is will be there. Same example I taken. All of you are observing. Sum.c, mul.c, print.c. So that further you can refer easily. So that further you can refer easily. Now, this is optional. If you write it, if you don't write it, this is an optional. Okay. Latest GCC, no need to use -o option. Now we need to create a next step is next you have to use AR command to create a library. Observe, we need to use which command to create a library? AR command to create a library. All of you are getting the point? We need to use AR command to create a library. Observe, all of you copy this command AR to create a static library. This is the command AR space R hyphen RCSV libabc.a. What is it, libabc.a? The name of the library. What is that libabc.a? Can I say that is the name of the library you want to create? In that library, you want to put these 3.o files. In that library, you want to put those 3.o files. Getting the point? Type 3 in the chat box. AR is a command to create a static library, archive file. This RCSV is an individual. This means dollar means this is a command prompt. Whenever there is a dollar symbol, the meaning is you need to type this command in the command prompt. BE8E2. Got the point? Here also, are you observing the dollar here? Here also observing the dollar. Meaning is that is a command prompt. Okay. So observe. AR hyphen RCSV and libabc dot a sum.o mul.o and print.o. Is it created? Sum.o mul.o print.o. Will you agree? The library is created libabc.a. So what is that R meaning? What is the C meaning? What is that S meaning? What is that V meaning is there in this material? R means replace. Suppose already library is there. In that library, these object files are there. Now you replace it. Got the point? The meaning of R. C option means do not warm if the library is newly created. If the library is newly creating, any name you can give. First letter should be lib. Lib should starting. Extension should be .a. BE8L1. Got the point? Any name you can give. Starting should be lib and ending with a. So C means do not give any warning if we are creating newly. V means this is called verbose mode. Tells AR to keep your information what you are doing. Means it will display something on the screen. S means to create a symbol table. It will create a symbol table which is something extra that GCC need when we are using a library. Some table it will create. In this table, like our index, do you know every book is having one index at the beginning? Every book, any book, if you purchase it, textbook, index, first page, first chapter, second chapter, like this. S means symbol table, one table it will create. So these are some options. These are some options you can use while creating it. So will you agree? Successfully we created lib. Successfully we created this library ar hyphen t lib. Can you tell me what is the t option? What is the t option? T option will display v means, observe, if I don't use v here, if I don't use v here, if we use v here, something extra information is displayed. Means what it is doing, it is creating a sum.o, it is putting sum.o, mul.o, print.o, verbose mode. Means it will step, what will tell you, it will display something on the screen, what it is doing. Is it clear? If you don't use v directly, simply it is created. Is it clear? Again, after the class, you can go through the material, you will get it. Now hyphen t option is for what? Hyphen t option is for what? Suppose if library is already there, in that library what are the .o files is there? You want to check. Suppose already library is there, AR is that for static library, BE9D3. To create a static library, we need to use AR. To create a static library, we need to use AR. Is it clear? So all these things are there in this. To create a static library, we need to use AR command. I'll show you. The archive. Next, we need to use AR command to create a library and put them into it. The topic is, what is the topic is? Static library. Creating a static library. R3 is asking one question, sir, while replacing a new .o file, which will affect the predefined library functions are in that. See, BE9 R3 is asking, already library is there. In this library, already some function is there. BE9 R3 following this, already some .o is there. But you want to do some changes in this sum.o. So what you do? You'll modify the sum.c. You'll create a .o file and you need to place the .o file in the place of this, replace it. Getting the point? If already the .o file is there, it will replace with a new .o file into that. If not there, no problem at all. Sir, what happens if you delete the .o file after creating a static library? You can delete it. Now, after creating a static library, you can delete sum.o, sum.o, mul.o, print.o. Why? Because already those are present in that. Getting the point? Already the .o files are kept in the library. AR-T lib. See, already there is there. BE9R8, got the point? Now you can remove the .c files also. Now these files are also not required. These files is required only if you want to do some updation in that source code. In that, will you agree? Those files are required only required an updation. Sir, how one of the student is asking, sir, how can we remove the .o file in the library? If you want to remove the .o file in the library, AR-D sum.o lib. Just a minute, I need to reverse it. All these are, you can open the man page. Now observe, that .o file gets deleted. BE8S4, got the point? The .o file is deleted. If you want to add it, I need to create a .o file, cc -c sum.c. So now .o file is created. Now I need to add it ar -r lib abc.a sum.o. Now observe ar -t lib abc.a. Can I say sum.o is now once again we placed it S4, got the point? BE8 K8 is asking one question. Sir, if you are performing another program like this, at that time the .o files saved in the library or another library is created. So once created this library, so in this library how many functions are there? Wherever you want you can use it. Once you created this library, so how to compile and link with our own library, we need to discuss it. Getting the point? Okay, one more question came. Let's answer the questions before further moving. D5, how many compilation stages are required to create a run file? BE8 D5 is interesting question he is asking. Can anybody tell me, in our GCC environment, how many compilation stages required to create an executable file? 4. What are those? Preprocessor, translator, assembler, and linker. BE8 D5, is it clear? BE8 D5, very basic things. Is it clear? Okay. Anybody else is having before moving into that? Anybody else is having any doubt before moving into that? If you want to ask the doubts through voice, just raise your hand so that I'll enable your voice. Want to ask the doubts through voice, just raise your hand so that I'll enable your voice. D3 is asking content of .a file, can we check? This is the object files, binary files, you cannot check. It is not a source code, right? D3, this is a .o files. Can we check the .o files? No, right? So we can't. After creation of library, we can remove the .c file. If you want, you can remove it. But if you want to do any changes in the library, if you want to do any changes in the mul.c, once again you need to create it. Source code you should not remove any time. You should preserve it. S8, got the point? Source code you should not remove it. You should place somewhere as a backup. Because if any changes you want, once again you need to write the source code. S8, got the point? S8, please reply it, got the point? Source code you should not never remove it. And one question came from S15. Sir, these created library functions can be used in another directory also. Yes, S15, how to use this library, I didn't discuss it. Once I started with the discussion, you will get it. BE9 S15, got the point? Okay, next question is, sir, why we did not use the RCSV in a lib? See, in this, already this library is there. I want to put only this sum.o. That is the reason I am using R. Remaining options I am not using it. I need to replace in this library. If sum.o is already there, I need to replace, otherwise place it. That is the reason remaining options I am not using it. BE9K2, got the point? Okay. So what is the difference between the lib abc.a and our own lib? BE9V1, are you in the class? Just read your question very carefully. BE9V1, what is the difference between the default lib abc.a? There is no default lib abc.a. There is no default libabc.a. Is there any libabc.a default library is there? Is there any libabc.a default library is there? No. Yesterday when I'm talking about an examples, I told you 3 examples. I told you libc.a, libm.a, libabc.a. I told you libc.a, libm.a is already existing libraries. Libabc.a, we are going to create it. B9 V1, getting the point? There is no existing by default, there is no libabc.a. Okay. Anybody else? I didn't address any questions. I didn't address any questions. If no, we'll move it. We'll move to the further. So I hope you got how to create a library. Very simple static library. We are discussing about the static library. I hope you got how to create a static library. So for creating a library, you need to get .o files. So from the .c files, you need to create a .o file. Now will you agree, in the present working directory, what I will do, cp mul.c // cp sum.c // cp print.c // I copied it. Now I'll remove it. rm mul.c sum.c print.c. Now tell me, in the present working directory, how many files are there? In a present working directory, how many files are there? In a present working directory, how many files are there? Can I say 2 files are there? One file is our .c file. One file is our .c file, and another file is a library file. One file is a .c file, and another file is a library file. In this library, can I say 3 .o files we kept? In this library, will you agree, 3 .o files we kept? In each .o file, just for sake of example, 1 function definitions are there. Now observe how to compile and link with our own created library. Very simple. Now when you compile like this, will you agree it will generate an error, undefined reference to print sum and mul. Undefined reference to print sum and mul. Now if you want to compile and link with your own libraries, your own created static library, ccp1.c libabc.a. If you want to avoid the warning, you need to, in a p1.c, you need to write extern print char star. Extern means by default anyway functions are extern, right? Do you agree? By default anyway functions are extern, right? If you write extern, if you don't write extern, no problem at all. Void int sum int comma int or int mul int comma int. Otherwise what you can do is you can create your own header file .h. In the .h you can kept all these things here. You can include the .h here. Again, what you can do is you can create your own .h file. In the .h file, print some mul function prototypes you can put, and that header file you can include here. I hope you might have remembered how to include that header file in an Angular bracket for a double quote. I hope you might have remembered. If your own header file is there, will you agree, in a double quote? Like that also you can do it. Like that also you can do it. To avoid this warning, I am saying. to avoid that warning. Now observe, no warning. Now observe, no warning. Now I'm linking with what library? Our own created static library. Will you agree? Here I'm linking with our own created static library. All of you are getting the point? Here I'm linking with our own created static library. Now observe what happens here is, from the .c file, will you agree, after assembler .o file you will get. Listen, observe the screen very carefully. From the .c file, will you agree, from up to assembler if you think, up to assembler if you think, .o file, and this library also. And apart from this, will you agree, by default those three libraries linker will link. All of you copy this. libc.so 1 and 3 are the operating system libraries. Now can you tell me, here linker is linking with how many libraries? Can you tell me, here when you compile ccp1.c libabc.a, linker is linking with how many libraries? Four libraries. What are those? Linker is linking with how many libraries? 4. What are those? Can I say 3 are by default? This is the OS and this is the libc.so. This is the OS. Apart from these 3, can I say it is linking with our own library also? Now these are the dynamic libraries. Our is a static library. To OS, yes, to OS, one libc.so C library and our own. Our own is a static, not a dynamic. Our own is a static library, not a dynamic library. All of you copied this diagram? Is all of you copied this diagram? Any doubt in this diagram? Which are OS related libraries? B9, D3, don't worry about which are OS related libraries. I'll show you. Yesterday also I shown you. Today also later I'll show you. LDD command, when you type you will get it. B9, D3, got the point? LDD command, when you type you will get it. Don't be panic. Okay. Now, is this point is clear to everyone? When you compile the program like this, default linker linking with 3 dynamic libraries and 1 static library. Default the linker is linking with 3 dynamic libraries and 1 static library. Please type 2 in the chat box if you accept this. Still, if any doubt is there, please let me know. Still any doubt is there, please let me know. Okay. Now, can you tell me in p1.o which function definition is there? In p1.o which function definition is there? Which function definition? Can I say main function definition? In a p1.o, will you agree, main function definition is there? In this main function, I'm calling the print, I'm calling the sum, I'm calling the mul, I'm calling the printf. Will you agree? These are the functions we are calling from the main. Will you agree? Again, all of you copy this situation very clearly. So in a p1.o, main function definition is there. In a main function, we are calling the print function, sum function, mul function, and printf function. Yes or no? Type yes or no. In a main function, in a p1.o, main function definition is there. In a main function, we are calling the print function, we are calling the sum function, we are calling the mul function, we are calling the printf function. Now you tell me, in this executable file, main function definition will be there or not? In this executable file, main function definition is copied or not? Answer is yes. Some function definition is present or not? Some function, because it is a static library. You know, linker, when it is linking with a static library, that function definitions are copied into this a dot out. Will you agree? When the linker linking with static library, so in that library, whatever the functions we are calling, those function definitions are copied here. What about the mul function definition? Copied or not? Yes. What about the print function definition? Print function definition copied. What about the printf function definition? What about the printf, because it is present in the SO dynamic library? Because it is copied, it is present in the dynamic library. Will it copy into this a dot out? Can I say no? All of you copy these points. In this a dot out file, main function definition will be there, sum function definition will be there, mul function definition will be there, print function definition will be there, printf function definition will not be there. Main function definition, how to check? Can you tell me what is the command to check? Is that those definitions are present or not? Not LDD, nm command. nm command. BE9S4, try to understand why printf function definition is not there, because linker found the printf function definition in this dynamic library. Linker found the printf function definition in this dynamic library. So what is the property of the linker? Try to recollect yesterday's discussion. If linker is linking with a dynamic library, will it copy the definition into this? BE9S4, got the point? So that is the reason printf function definition is not copied into this a dot out. But can you tell me why the sum function definition is copied? Why the mul function definition? Why the print function definitions are copied? Because linker got those definitions in the static library. So we are calling the function. So those function definitions are kept in a dot out file. Now can you tell me, when this executable file is loaded into the RAM, how many dependency libraries are loaded? Listen very carefully the question. When this executable file is loaded into the RAM, how many dependency libraries are loaded? 3 dependency libraries are loaded. 3 dependency libraries, these 3. This is not loaded. Can you tell me why this is not loaded? Because at the compile time only those function definitions are inserted into this a dot out file. Will you agree? BE9S8. When my program is loaded into the RAM for execution, when this a dot out file is loaded into the RAM for execution, what are the dependency libraries are going to be loaded? See, here we are not using hyphen static, but we are supplying the static library. K8. No need to use hyphen static. Sir, why it is copying main function definition? See, main is not a library function, right? One of the student is asking why main function definition is copied. If main function definition is not copied into this a dot out, how? Main is not a library function. Main is a separate dot. From the dot c it is created dot o. Definitely in this dot o file, how many functions are there? Everything will be there in this a dot o. If it is a library function, then linker will check should I copy it or not. If it is not a library, if you separately supply .o files to the linker, whatever the content of the .o, it is copied into the a.out. Main is not a completely predefined. Main definition wise, main is a user defined. Who defined the function, main function definition? Who is filling the main function definition? User. So user defined. Now, any doubt in this diagram, please let me know. If we are not using mul function here, if you are not using mul function here, this mul function definition is not copied. BE9S4, absolutely correct. If you are not using the mul function definition will not be there in this a.out. Is it clear? But will you agree whatever the source code we written, in that we are calling those functions? BE9S7 is asking one question. Sir, sir, while compiling, we need to compile the main function and the libraries to compile the task written in the main. The task definition is in the library. BE9S7, try to understand. We are creating the libraries. We are creating the library. So when we are creating the library, our own created library, so you must and should supply the library to the compiler at the time of compilation. BE9S7, got the point? BE9S7 got the point. BE8S1 is asking one question. Can you repeat the dependency libraries? Now observe, when this executable file is loading into the RAM for execution, apart from this executable file, the 3 libraries are also loaded. Otherwise, your program will not be executed. The dependency libraries are also loaded. Now, how to check what are the dependency libraries it required? Can I say LDD a.out? Observe, these are the 3 dependency libraries going to be loaded when your executable file is loading into the RAM for execution. These are the 3 dependency libraries. Why libc.a is not loaded? Because static library BE9S8, try to understand, logically think, static library. So at the linker stage only the definitions of the libraries are copied. Try to think little bit logically. BE9S8, got the point? Because got the point, BE9S8? The function definitions are already copied into the a.out. There is no, this library is not required, because in this a.out, in this library, whatever the functions you are calling is copied into this a.out. So not required. If it is matter of dynamic library, instead of a static, if it is matter of dynamic library, here one more line it will be displayed. That is also we are going to discuss in future. Next. Is it clear? One big question came from BE8M1. Sir, I didn't know this time to ask the question or not. Main is completely user defined or predefined function. See, BE8M1, main is a not user defined, not completely predefined. prototype point of view, main is prototype point of view, main is predefined. Definition point of view, main is user defined. Got the point? So it is not completely predefined, it is not completely user defined. Okay. So anything, anybody else is having a doubt? Once again, let me please tell me once again, if I compile this code, what happens? Try to understand. If I compile this code like this, can you tell me what happens? All of you, anybody is ready to help me? S15, are you asking about the main? BE9 S15, are you talking about the main? How to conclude this topic? You are talking about this topic. Okay, now observe, that's what I'm going to conclude here. So we created one library. In this library we kept 3 .o files. We kept 3 .o files. One is sum.o, mul.o and print.o. In each .o file, one function definition is there. To create a static library, we need to use AR command. To create a static library, we need to use AR command. If you want to compile with your own created static library, this is the option. So in this case, what happens is p1.o, I'm talking about a linker now, p1.o, and this library, apart from this, as you know, by default linker links with those 3 libraries and it will create one executable file. Will you agree? These 3 libraries are dynamic libraries, .so files. These 3 libraries are dynamic libraries, .so file. One question came from BE9, BE8, K8. Libraries are added in this program. With the help of that, we are executing. See, libraries are not added. In this library, whatever the functions you are calling, those function definitions are added into this. BE8, K8, got the point? And BE9, T1 is asking, it will link with the functions that are copied the definitions in a.out. BE9, I am not getting. Now here, in this, main function definition will be there. Sum function definition will be there. Mul function definition will be there. Print function definition will be there. And printf function definition, can you tell me printf function definition? Won't be there. Why? Because libc.so. Why? Because libc.so. Can we move to how to create a dynamic library? Can we move to the discussion of how to create a dynamic library? BE9 S4 is asking, did we explicitly copy .o files into anywhere? .o files I deleted. BE9 S4. The .o files are present in this. After inserting into that, I deleted that in the present working directory. Observe, in the present working directory, only these 2 are there. In this, AR-T lib abc.in. In this already .o files are there. Now there is no use of those .o files now. There is no use of those .o files now. No need to delete the .o files. No need to delete the .o files. Just to show you to get the clarity about this topic, I deleted that. But actually not required. Actually not required to delete it. Okay, anybody else is having any doubt before moving to the next? BE9 A3. what I did is I copied those mul.c, all those files in this directory. That will take the help. I'll take the help of that source code in a dynamic libraries. Is it clear? I used cp mul.c double dot slash. Double dot slash means, can I say from here it is copied into this? Just for saving purpose, instead of removing, I copied. Sir, can you show nm command for this, sir, so that we can all function definitions are added or not? One of the student is asking, sir, can you show nm a dot out? See, main function definition is in a text section, mul function definition is in a text section, print function definition is a text section, sum function definition is a text section, printf is undefined. Got the point? V1, DE9 V1, got the point? Shall we move how to create a dynamic library? Shall we move the discussion of how to create a dynamic library? Type 2 in the chat box. All the steps are there. All the steps are there here. We are discussing now dynamic library. So to create a dynamic library, just a minute, let's come to cp double dot slash sum dot c dot slash cp double dot slash mul dot c dot slash cp double dot slash print dot c dot slash. What I did, again I revert back, I bring back in the present working directory. I'll remove this a dot out. All of you are observing what I did. In the previous directory, I moved it. Now I'm bringing back, so that I need to create a dynamic library, right? Now tell me, in this dynamic library, what are the .o files I'm going to put? What is the name of a dynamic library I'm going to create? What is the name of the dynamic library I'm going to create? libmno.so. What are the .o files I'm going to kept? What are the .o files I'm going to kept? Can I say again 3? Sum.o, mul.o, print.o. So now, will you agree, I need to create a .o files first. From this .c files, how we created for static library, again I need to create a .o files. But here, observe, when you are creating the .o files for dynamic library, you need to use one extra option -fpic. Again, when you are creating a dynamic library, whatever the .o files you are putting into the dynamic library, so you need to create -c-fpic sum.c. What is that fpic? Don't worry, mul.c. Once option print.c. fpic means position independent code. Note it down. fpic means position independent code. What is the use of that? Why we need to provide that option? For the time being, don't worry, we'll discuss that. For the time being, don't worry, we'll discuss that. Just try to remember this point whenever you are creating a dynamic libraries. So whatever the .o files you are going to keep, whatever the .o files you are going to put into the dynamic library, so what you need to do? Whatever the .o files you are going to put in a dynamic library, you need to use an option called fpic. fpic means position independent code. FPIC means position independent code. What happens when you use FPIC? That will be explained here, but little bit difficult right now. Don't worry, don't be panic. Tomorrow we'll discuss what is this position independent code for that. So just for the time being, try to remember this. Is it clear? So don't worry about what is that FPIC, what happens in the FPIC, don't worry right now. In the proper time, I'll discuss it. Is clear? So first you need to create a .o files from the .c files with -fpic option. If this point is clear, type C in the chat box. Okay. Next, for creating a dynamic library, the command is this. For creating the dynamic library, the command is cc -shared -o lib mno.so and sum.o mul.o and print.o. Observe, one dynamic library is created. Now in this book, what is the library name? libxyz. But what I created? libmno. Is it clear? Any name you can give. First lib should be there, last so should be there. First lib should be there, after that last so will be there. Now will you agree? One static library is there, one dynamic library is there. Now will you agree? This dynamic library is looking like executable file color. All of you are observing. Static library is normal text file black color, but in a dynamic library is in a different color. Why? Because this library is going to be loaded separately. When your a.out is going to load, this library is going to be loaded separately. It should have some executable qualities. But can I say static library is not going to be loaded into the RAM? Because at the compile time only everything will be loaded into the executable file. The stuff of static library, the content of the static library is loaded into the executable file at the linking stage only. But dynamic library, it is going to be loaded separately. It should have the executable qualities. That is the reason it looks like an executable file. All of you got the point? That is the reason it looks like an executable file. Now, how to compile and link with our own created dynamic library? BE9S5, when our a.out is loaded, this library also loaded separately. In our a.out file, only references will be there. But when this a.out file is going to be loaded, will you agree those libraries are also going to be loaded separately? BE9S5. Observe how to compile and link with cc. What is that? p1.c, is it? p1.c /lib mno.so. All of you copy this command, cc p1.c /lib mno.so. Now observe very interesting thing here. From the p1.c, will you agree, you will get p1.o. From the p1.c, will you agree, you will get p1.o after assembler? Yes or no? Please tell me. From the p1.c. Now, this library also linked. Can I say these three libraries are also linked? All of you copy this diagram. All of you copy this command. and below that try to indicate like this. Now you need to tell me in this a dot out main function definition is going to be copied or not. Main function definition, it is not a library. Can I say it should be copied? It is not a library function, right? Main in this p1.o is there. Whatever the stuff is there in the p1.o, it is copied here. S7, please try to understand. If it is a library function, then it will think about it. If it is present in a separate .o files, definitely it is copied. BE9 S7, try to understand. Okay. Now you tell me some function definition is copied or not. BE9 S7, can you tell me some function definition is present in this library? Is it copied or not? No. Mul function definition. Mul function definition. No. Print function definition. No. Printf function definition. No. Only references are copied. Now tell me, if this is not a dynamic library, if this is a static library, can I say these are copied? If that is not a dynamic library, if that might have a static library, will you agree those function definitions are going to be copied? Now you tell me, when this executable file is loading into the RAM for execution, what are the dependency libraries it required? When this executable file is loading into the RAM for execution, what are the dependency libraries it required? Can I say libraries I am talking? B9T1, libraries I am talking. Can I say these three libraries plus your created library also? Those three libraries plus your created library also required. How can I check? Can you tell me how can I check? Can you tell me how can I check? Again LDD command. How can I check? Again LDD command. Will you agree? What are the libraries required? How can I check? BE8 S10. What are the libraries required? How can I check? NM or LDD? LDD. Is the function definitions are there or not? NM command. Is the function definitions are there or not? Will you agree? NM command. Is the function definitions are there or not? Will you agree? NM command. Now I hope you got little bit idea how to create your own static library, how to create your own dynamic library, how to compile and link with your own created static as well as your own created dynamic library. I hope you got an idea in a today's session how to create a static library, how to create a dynamic library, how to compile and link with your own created static library, your own created dynamic library. Tomorrow's session we need to talk about linking, binding. Can we copy this folder from one directory to another directory? You can copy. BE8 S10, you can copy. Command. What you need to? You need to copy the total folder. Total folder. I don't know what is the command. CP command, I think. CP-R. Recursively it will copy. I think. I don't know. Yes. Check it out. Please cross check. CP-R so that it will recursively it will copy. See, when you ask the question, I might have thinking with respect to the topic which is going on. So please share the .c files and PDF. .c files anyway, I'll share it. These .c files, I'll share it in the LMS. After that, just a minute, I'll check it out. In this LMS, yesterday I shared it, right? That PDF. Which PDF you are talking? Are you talking about material PDF? B9D3? Just a minute, I will check it out. Is it uploaded or not? I informed to Manu, sir. I informed. See, vector material drive. First, I'll show you. This is a function pointer, but this is a library. In this library, yesterday I didn't upload it. Okay, I'll upload today. No, I'll upload today. That PDF. This PDF, are you talking? Are you talking about this PDF? Are you talking about this PDF? This PDF data is collected from there only, from the material only. Okay, that I'll upload it. Next thing is, in this drive, vector material drive, are you able to see the Linux? In that, this is there, Linux is there. In this, are you able to, the library thing is there? Library related? Library related, not there? Ayyo. Process management 2 times is there. Okay, by mistakenly, whatever it is. I'll inform to the Manu to do the changes. I'll inform to Manu sir to do the changes. Sir, which type of libraries are preferable to create, static or dynamic? That we need to conclude at the end. BE9M5, you're talking about, you're asking about the last discussion. We must and should. Depends upon the situation, we need to decide. Do we need to go for a static or dynamic? Don't worry, we'll discuss that. Don't worry, we'll discuss that. Okay. So, what is my job now? My job is I need to inform to Manu sir regarding this. Apart from that, today, whatever it is there, I need to upload it. Okay. So, what is the today's date? Today's date is the 19th. Just a minute. 19/08/2021. So in this library, this one I need to upload it. Apart from that, those programs I need to upload it. So what are the programs? CP, sum.c /mnt d Linux _89 sum mul print p1.c. These are, now it is copied into this D drive 89. Tomorrow there is no holiday. Tomorrow as usual schedules will be there. Okay. Okay then. Thank you very much. I'm going to wind up the today's meeting.